Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Charity First Handicapping Challenge here live from Santa Anita. And we are down to the nitty gritty. This is round three. Just two more wins by any of our contestants, and they'll be in the finals. And we got some of the best handicappers in the country left. What's going on, Chappie? Good morning.
Good morning, George. Yeah, another week. We had a terrific week of handicapping last week. All the shows were not only entertaining, but informative. And I expect nothing less today, especially with our two competitors. It should be a heck of a day.
It should be. All right, I'm going to introduce mine. Ruben Mendez, one of my favorites. I've been working with him for years. He's worked here at Santa Anita, TVG. He does it all. He's a very passionate fan of horse racing, as we all are. And he's got the LA hat on because, rumor is the Dodgers are going to be back in action sometime in April. That's going to be cool to be able to go to the stadium. Ruben?
Yeah, my wife misses the Dodger games a lot. I think probably besides Del Mar, Santa Anita, Vegas, and Dodger Stadium, those are the four places we miss the most. So,
yeah, those were great. Chappie, who you got today?
Ruben, before I get to the only time I ever see Ruben on Instagram or Twitter, he's always at one of those four places. Usually it's Vegas. I think that guy has a second home in Vegas.
We're trying to plan something for the summer. There's a small hotel you can rent in Vegas. It's not too pricey. It's like 40 rooms, so we might have to go celebrate a tournament winning out there this summer.
Right.
I like it. And my man Ellis Starr, he's national racing analyst for Equibase, public handicapper. He does it all. He has picks on the Santa Anita website, and all-around good guy. I love the hat today. Ellis, how you doing this morning?
Doing good. We're thawing out, and that's all I care about, besides good racing.
Absolutely. Well, Georgie, let's get it rolling, baby. It should be a great day, and I'm excited.
I'm excited for you guys that are tuning in for the first time. In our challenge here, our handicappers are going to try to turn their mythical $300 bankroll into more than $1,000, and that will give an extra $500 to a favorite charity of ours, Karma. We're also going to be giving them money as well, but our handicappers are going to try to give them even more money. They're going to have $300 to play with. They can pay $100 to win on one horse during the Santa Anita card. An exacta, they're going to have $100. They can either bet it straight or two $50 exactas in the same race. And a daily double, they can either bet a straight $100 daily double or two $50 daily doubles. So they're going to try to swing for the fences, try to make us some money, and then they're also competing for $1,000. After today, there's only going to be 4 players left, and then the championship is going to be on Sunday. So that Sunday championship, one of the players will take home $1,000. So there's a lot of competitiveness here. We've seen it from our contestants in the past, and Michelle Hughes, the one that comes to mind. She wants to win this more than anybody. But our guys here today want to win as well, and they want to win and make money for you. Excellent insight. We're going to get into the races. So here we go. We're going to start it off with Ruben. Ruben, you got $100 to win. You're not wasting any time. You're swinging right off the bat, right?
Yeah, let's go straight into race one. I think the Peter Miller horse is going to get that off the board here. I think the 6 horse going for Peter Miller is going to probably be 4 to 5, maybe even 3 to 5 when they open the gates. And I think we're going to get a little bit of a decent price on the inside horse, Full Draw. If you watch the replay in his last race, horse was off a little slow from, I think, the 7 post, got caught going about 6 wide into the first turn. And then about halfway through the first turn, he's in the 6 path. He ducks down to maybe the 3 or 2 path, drives up in between horses, kind of gets used a little bit early, flattens out in the stretch, ran a good second. But if you look at the margin of loss in that race compared to his trip for the ground he lost going into that first turn, I love the one horse here. I think the most underused angles on trip routes, people love to see trouble in the stretch. People love to see horses waiting behind, turning for home. The most underused angle is being wide going into the first turn in a 2-turn dirt race. They're running the fastest early on, as opposed to the second turn where their marginal rate of speed is actually decelerating. So into the first turn last time, he was caught so wide. He made a nice move, got used early. I think there's a little bit of speed here. He can sit comfortably. He's in a safe ground. And most importantly, I don't think he's going to go below 5 to 2. So
That sounds good. That it's not easy to be 6 wide in a 7-horse race. So that's
We
pretty
ran
bad.
it last time.
Man. But I saw that race, and the winner got a dream trip. I think the winner had Pfeiffer aboard, and Pfeiffer gave that one just a dream trip, able to draw off. And once Nairo Gutierrez saw that he wasn't going to catch her, I mean, he probably could have been even a little bit closer, but he knew he wasn't going to win. So, and he was, way clear of second. So, nice draw for a full draw, and hopefully we'll be able to draw first blood on Ellis Star. Jabby?
Yeah, Ruben, check your volume there at the end. It went down just a little bit. And I think you're going to get a little bit of a price, like you said. They're going to hammer that Peter Miller horse. Peter Miller started to get hot again last week. As we know, he can be very streaky. So, all right, Ellis, 100 to win. Where are you going and why?
Race 6. Going to race 6, a maiden special. And there's some first-time starters in here. Ninja for Baffert draws the rail. Baffert, of course, 33%, going back like 5 years now with first-time starters, but I don't like first-time starters on the rail. And then Soothsay for Mandela, very fast work from Mandela, 59 and 2/5 from the gate. But this is a daughter of Spellbound by Distorted Humor. This is route. I won't touch it. I'm going with the 5 Stressed for my $100 win bet. Second-time starter for Doug O'Neill, a daughter of Golden Sense. In a turf sprint debut, she pressed a hot pace, 21 and 3, 44 and 2. Got a little tired. That's Lasix. Going to get out there on the lead and go sayonara, baby. Stressed in race 6.
I like it. The second-time starter. We know Baffert, Mandela's going to take some play. The Jonathan Wong first-time starter is definitely going to take some play. And I actually bet that horse first time out, Stressed. And like you said, had speed. Not sure if maybe she just didn't care for the turf. So with the racing experience, I think we're going to get a nice price, Georgie. We'll take our 100 to win on an 8 to 1. No Stressed for Ellis and I.
All right, looking at some of those horses in race number 6, I just want to be a soothsayer and say that Ellis is going to be very stressed because life is going to be a bowl of cherries for us as we are going to have such a big lead going into that race. It's not going to be close.
Georgie, your comments are just distorted.
That's funny. Ruben, tell me about the incredible performance by Charlatan to be second in the Saudi Cup.
I watched the race a few times. I understand there's a lot of jockey criticism out there. I just think, at that distance that day, he was second best. He's obviously very talented. Horses like that, I think, when you see them being forced to adapt to race dynamics where they're not just comfortably on the lead, and I mean comfortably not going slow, but comfortably emotionally, mentally, without that stress and having to adapt to kind of, I think if they run that race 100 times, he probably wins it maybe 50% of the time. So, combination of trip, pace, and all that good stuff. But excited to see what he does next. I actually think he has a half sibling. There's a half sibling running at Gulfstream tomorrow. I'll have to check my notes. But I think Charlatan, a half sibling, is running tomorrow at Gulfstream.
All right. Your volume is very low, but I could kind of hear you. Ellis, can you tell us your insights into that Saudi Cup without us having to strain to hear you? Go ahead.
Well, it was a perfect trip race. I mean, the winner sat third. Nick's Go just went at it, and he took back because Charlatan got the lead. It was a really interesting race. Nick's Go unusually second. It's on the engine. He gets really confident, so it kind of took him out, and that's why he faded a bit. And the winner just got a dream trip. Charlatan ran very well. There was really nothing to knock about the winner. I looked at it, looked $1 million on the track. I did not bet it. Second in the Saudi in the Derby the year before, so had dirt form, the only other dirt race, and a Group 1 winner. Certainly figured the race. Certainly figured to be a contender if ran back to the Group 1 race and took back to the dirt again. But sat just a perfect trip.
George, when the morning of that race on the radio show, I talked about that I thought it could set up for somebody because, like you said, Ellis mentioned, Nick's Go basically needs to be on the lead. Charlatan has so much speed, was stretching out, and they were going to take it to each other. And I didn't bet the race because I like Ellis, I couldn't come up with who was maybe going to get the perfect trip. That being said, Charlatan ran out of his mind to get second, but it certainly had the lookings of maybe setting up for somebody. I just couldn't figure out who, but terrific race by Charlatan, nonetheless.
That was great. Ruben, you got $100 exacta. Where are you going?
All right. First, is my audio coming in
We
okay?
can hear you now, boy.
Perfect. All right, cool. Let's hop over to race 5. All right. So race 5, there's a horse I love here, the 5-horse Bob Daniels. I was thinking about making him my win bet also. Going turf to dirt, ran pretty well first time out on the dirt. And then in this race here, I mean, other than maybe the O'Neill first-time starter, I'm not too worried about who he's got to face here. I think he'll get bet a little bit. Might see 3-1, maybe 5-2. My exacta play is going to be the 5 over 2 first-time starters, the 3 and the 8. Corner knows how to train him first time out. O'Neill on the 3-horse. He could get him ready. He's probably who I worry about most. And then on the outside, Eclipse, Thoroughbreds, and Pratt, they look good with Thrive. So my exacta there is the 5 with the 3 and the 8, and that's in race 5.
All right, 5 of the 3-8. So hopefully, let's get lucky. Sting like a bee, drop an atomic bomb, and Thrive over Ellis in race number 5.
All right, Ellis, where we go with our exacta and why?
I can't compete with the king of puns over there. It's tough. In race 3, Maiden Special, mile on the grass and boxing, 6 Warren's Candy Girl and 8 Big Beauty. It's a little bit chalky, but I think it's a good way to take 3-1 out of the race, maybe. Warren's Candy Girl, second, and 3 maiden races, a mile on the grass. 2 is the favorite. I don't know that she doesn't want to win. She just got beaten by better horses. Sensible Cat came back to win. St. Helena is a nice horse. And then she was so highly regarded, they put her in the Cal Cup Oaks, and she ran second again to closing remarks, rallying from way back in 10th to get second. This class relief should do it, but Big Beauty's got a nice shot. This is a 3-year-old daughter who is a full sister to a horse named Big Book. My stats race lens tells me Big Book reminded me, won 3 out of 7, was second to Torrey Pines back in 2015, won a couple dirt routes by Mr. Big, of course, is a son of Dynaformer, loved the grass, ran second in a turf sprint. I was thinking about going cold 6-8, but I'll box 6-8 because Big Beauty, could turn the tables and leapfrog over Warren's Candy Girl in terms of how fast everybody's speed figures he's run. So 6-8 exacta box in the 3rd.
I like it. So 6 and 8 box, Georgie, like you mentioned, Warren's Candy Girl actually had a little bit of trouble in that last race. First time Lasix going today, and she almost beat Winners last time in a stake race. And Big Beauty had a little bit of trouble as well. And that horse, the winner of that race, came back to win again. And we get Flavian Pratt on the stretch out. So I like it. 6-8, chalky or not, we'll take it.
What do you make of Hernandez not riding Big Beauty back? Ellis, is that something? Why? Obviously Pratt is wonderful, but so is JJ Hernandez. It didn't. I'm just confused that JJ is not on this one.
I don't read too much into it. Pratt doesn't ride for Size, but Size, of course, is a veteran who doesn't have a lot of mounts. I think Pratt was available, and they wanted to give the horse the best shot. No knock on Juan. He's just a fantastic rider. He picks up a nice mount in Agata. I think the fact that Pratt was available, and just overall, I think if you have a choice, you'll go with the guy that's really doing it.
Yeah, it might be. He was checked in that race, so maybe they blame that on JJ. Who knows? You never know. But that whole, I'm always intrigued by the jockey decisions, and I do try to read some things into it. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, no, having Pratt is fantastic.
And then also, George, and not as much because Clifford Sykes doesn't run a lot, but it's going to be interesting to see what barns Pratt ends up in more now with the change in agents. Right. Obviously the Baffert barn is the first that comes to mind, like we talked about last week. But it'll be interesting. Those agents have ins and certain people that they ride for more and have relationships. Pratt he's already dominating, but it'll be very interesting to see with Pegram now.
Yeah, he's just been dominant. And, that's pretty much what Ruben's going to do today. He's going to dominate. So very Prattish. How about your Prattish daily double there, Ruben?
All right, so my double's going to start in race 2. Go ahead and pop that graphic in if you've got it. I just wanted to make sure I had the right numbers on there. So race 2, the horse on the rail is going to get absolutely bet off the board. Everybody sees the workout reports. Everybody's going to hear about the buzz. There's going to be a lot of steam on the horse. I can see that horse going off at even money. I think there's going to be some value in a small field with a couple of runners that have experience. I went with the 4 and the 5 in race 2. The 5 I like the most, working out well. I think Tyler is going to be a little bit closer to the pace. The 4 I also like. I think that value is going to go up quite a bit when the rail horse gets bet so much. I think the 4, you're probably looking at 5, 6 to 1 when the gates open. And so I'm going to try to beat the big favorite, the first-time starter on the rail. Especially the hardest races to handicap are small fields for me. And because there's so much that goes into the race flow, the pace dynamics, jockey decisions, I'm really just hoping maybe the 1 doesn't have a perfect start, the 4 and the 5 get a jump on them, and they could pull off a nice little upset at some decent odds. The second part of my double is for a horse that Alice also mentioned, the 6, Warren's Candy Girl in race 3. 2 races back, she took a nice 10-wide trip, stopped by the Arboretum, went into the Santa Anita Mall, got a hot dog and some pretzels, and then decided to close pretty well and get second. Last time out in that stakes race, she ran very well. Her Bayer jumped up a little bit. I understand she's kind of at a pace disadvantage here. I think the difference is she really is that talented, and she hasn't had a good trip yet. Inherently, closers like her are going to run into trouble more often than somebody near the front. I think she's just by far the most talented horse. She'll finally break through and break the maiden today. So my double will be the 4 and the 5 in race 2, trying to beat a big favorite on the rail to the favorite in race 3, the 6 horse.
One quick question for both of you guys, real quick. Ruben, you made a point there. And we can't take it away from her because she ran second in a stake last time. But she's found trouble time and time again. Mm-hmm. She doesn't get it done today. When do you start thinking some horses just kind of make their own trouble and get into trouble time and time again? When do you start to think that becomes a problem?
To me, it becomes a problem. It's always contextual, but it's directly correlated to their odds. The masses are going to see the trouble in the past performances. It's a lazy kind of selection. People kind of just default to it like, oh, that horse is going to win this time. At a certain point, people just continually bet it. It's just so lucrative to bet against her. I don't think she's at that point yet. I think her talent and upside, especially because she's still a young horse, outweighs the inherent risk for her to have a bad trip. But I think there's definitely a trade-off there because we see her talent. We see the trouble they've run into before. On the other hand, like you say, people get drawn to that, and then people actually bet her more. So it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. I think in this race, though, she should get a decent pace, and most importantly, I think she's just in fine form, working out well. Horses like that, I think, let's say there was a layoff involved and maybe change of surface or a drastic other change where it's kind of almost a move of desperation, then I'd be more inclined to bet against.
I'll take a different stand. I don't consider those 2 trouble lines to be trouble. This is a horse that's a dead closer, or she was a dead closer, at least 3 back when she broke out a little bit. She just likes to come from far back. She was up closer in her 4 back at Santa Anita. She's been in 10-line horse fields. These are 8 horse fields. There's probably no speed except Big Beauty stretching out. I'd be surprised if Pratt doesn't send Shout It Out stretching out as well. Sunshine Babe might take some tactical position. But those issues in the first for a closer like this, first part of the race, first turn, etc., I don't think they cost her a tactical position, which made a difference at the end. So I don't really think she's trouble prone.
Well, she gets a new jockey in Cedillo. That might shake things up. Drops out of a stakes race, adds Lasix, and gets Ruben's pick and Alice's pick. So I think she's going to win today for all our fans out there. And all right, it's back to you, and you're gonna use the force we all can see. Baby Yoda is right by your side there, Ellis. We see that you got an edge. It's not fair.
Who's the force going with us in the double, Ellis?
So in the double, I'm going to take a price horse in the 7th, number 3, Sophie Antoinette, with Wild Arch and our Bonnie Lass in the 8th. And I'll spend a couple minutes talking about Sophie Antoinette because she is 8-1 morning line. This is a pattern play. She's second off a layoff, also a trainer change, but she was off from October 20th to January 31st. Came back and ran around the track 4th, 5th, 6th at us in a starter non-winners of 2. Now, that starter non-winners of 2, that optional claiming starter of 2, is actually a higher class level than a straight 25,000 non-winners of 2. The horses that run in that race are protected, so for the most part, even though it has an optional claiming component. So they're a little bit tougher. She was 20-1 back there, but more about the pattern play. She was off, must have had something wrong. She was off from August of 19 to September of last year. And her first race back, she was 7th, beaten 22. Her second off the layoff, she finished second at a mile on the grass at Golden Gate, and she was in the race for the last half mile. She was battling head and head. She drew off by a length and a half at the 8th pole, and she got beat ahead on the wire. And then she ran 4th, then she took the other layoff she's coming back from, and she moved to Doug O'Neill's barn. She gets Jessica Pfeiffer, so she gets 7 pounds. At a mile, I got a feeling there's not a lot of speed here that Jockey Jess may send this horse and get her first or second early, and she can get pretty brave here. So I'm going to take a shot. I don't think the favorites are any kind of standouts. Good Things Coming in Pink and Zuchera. I mean, they're all 1-first. You know, we all know what offers are. These are 1-first. They're all 1 for something. And Sophie Antoinette, I think, has enough upside. I mean, she broke her maiden at Churchill at the mile on the grass back in 2019 in the $75,000 maiden claiming race, which is pretty high for them. That's almost maiden special weight for Churchill. So I'm taking her, Sophie Antoinette, and then the 8th, the logical 2 horses, Wild Arch and our Bunny Lass. They both run the level, and normally I'd be a little concerned horses that lose at the bottom level, but those 2 races they ran last time out stand out. Our Bunny Lass was second after setting the lead. Jessica Pfeiffer again. She was 5 clear of the 3rd horse, and Wild Arch closed from 5th to 2nd. So I figure Bonnie Lass will set the pace. If she goes all the way, great. If not, Wild Arch catches her. One of those 2 with Sophie Antoinette, and that's my double.
I like it, Georgie. We're starting off with an 8-1 morning line. Second off the bench with Jessica Pfeiffer maybe sending here for Dougie Fresh. That should wrap it up for Ellis and I.
Yeah, that's a very aggressive single, and Karma is certainly hoping you catch that one. All right, hopefully, guys, saw the show and enjoyed great insight from both of our handicappers. We're going to go to race number 4, is it? For
Correct.
The rock, paper, scissors tiebreaker. And here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
All right, who will you go first?
All right, so race 4 for my tiebreaker. Not going to do anything crazy here. I love the 2 horse in here. She's going to get bet a little bit. She'll take some money. She'll be favored. Last race out, had a little bit of trouble at the 3/8 full. I think here she's perfectly spotted. So I'll take the 2 Admirably in race 4 as my tiebreaker.
All right, Ellis, how about yourself?
I am going with the 3 Leprino, and have a second here to remind myself why. I wrote the name down without any notes. The 2nd and 3rd race. Hey, I'm on Jessica Pfeiffer today again. Apparently.
Yeah, you are all over Jessica today.
The 2nd and 3rd back won an $8,000 winners of 2. Then a nice second, a little overmatched in that waiver claiming 20,000. This is a little class relief, tactical speed. If she runs back to either that 12-13 race, or more importantly, the 12-27 race at Santa Anita over the same track, I think she gets it done here.
Very nice. Georgie?
All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Good luck to you both. And it's pretty much, Ruben, it's you against Jessica Pfeiffer. I think that's basically it. Ellis and Yoda are there, but it was a great show. Thank you guys so much. Any last words there, Chappie?
Yeah, I got to go give Jess a call. I'm going to meet her, give her a little pep talk before race 1. Get her rolling for Ellis and I.
Do it.
All right. Thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Good luck, guys.
Have a great
Appreciate
day.
it.
Good luck, Alan. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.